All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Thursday night class. So, for tonight, we're going to be talking about which I feel is a very difficult but also important subject that whenever I try and teach people this, when I talk about it, it's not something that happens overnight. It doesn't happen in a week. And half the time, it doesn't even happen in a month or in a year. A lot of people, and for myself included, when I first had to get over this little hump in my trading, this was the hardest thing to actually execute, not just understand, not just process inside and like comprehend it, but actually execute based off charts and not what you're thinking in your head, not what those individual 1 minute, 5 minute candles are showing you. You see a red, you want to go puts, you see a huge green, you want to get in before it's too late. I've basically rerouted the way I trade, how I interpret charts based off this topic that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. I don't want to go in too deep with like technical analysis and all that other stuff, which will be built on top of the emotional standpoint of trading later on this year, if not next month or a few weeks after this. But with this overall topic, I want to start off by asking you guys questions just so I get a feel as to where everyone stands, maybe your personal trading style, or just to get a conversation going, to be honest. There's not much to really talk about with this unless there's a visual behind it, because it's going to involve a lot of charts, and it's also going to involve a lot of visual content outside of just verbal. Seeing stuff is a lot easier, and I'm pretty sure majority of the people in here, if you're not a visual learner, you're going to be like, you hear and you learn that way, since trading's very hands off. It's all about what you see, what you interpret, and biggest is the emotional standpoint. So just starting off everything, I want to know from you guys, who here trades breakouts, who here enters based off like the emotion of themselves saying, I have to get in before it's too late. And if you don't do it consistently that way, have you ever fallen into like that victim of buying based off it's breaking out, I don't want to miss it in case it keeps going, I already missed half the move going up, I don't want to keep missing it, so I want to get in now before it's too late. You know, after you take it, and maybe even before, I shouldn't be doing this. But if you make money on it, you don't really care at that point. So I just want to, I mean, everyone's saying, yeah, is there anyone at all that doesn't do that? Because I'll put my hand up too. I do it every once in a while. Everyone has that feeling. The ant shed, I used to, not anymore. This person said brand new to trading. So yeah, this kind of trading, it's a style for a lot of people. They use outside factors, not just the charting their emotions, but actual confirmations. They have specific indicators. They have specific zones they watch. Breakout trading is a lot of people's style, and we'll talk about that kind of stuff later on, like with other classes, not this one specifically. But what I'm going to be talking about is how to catch the move before that emotional hits of I got to get in, or is it too late if I buy in now? The whole point of what I'm hoping to get across tonight is you see a chart and you only trade it based off the chart. You only trade it based off confirmation of a visual and not the emotional standpoint of I got to get in. I've already missed a 20% move on this contract. This can go another 100%. So it's like, I want to get in before it's too late. Today, Rippy signal calls and I got in by mistake. I did not chase it anymore. Yeah, I personally, I don't like Tesla, but that's just a personal standpoint. Everyone has a stock they may not like, or just like trade in the past that when they go in to do it again, it's like, last time I did this, I got burned. I don't want to do it again. I don't even look at Tesla anymore, but I know that's one of Rippy's favorites and he's very good at it as well. So going off of talking to you guys about buying breakouts, buying emotions over the actual visual of what you see, I'm going to switch over and to start, so I just want to pull up a chart that I've had for, I think, the past 3 days now on SPX. And I understand a lot of people don't trade SPX, but if you watch the overall market, you look at the S&P 500, you look at SPY. Come on, you're going to load. Hang on. Chart's trying to load right now. Hopefully it doesn't close down. There we go. So everyone has, like, they know what the S&P is, S&P 500. They know what SPY is. If you're a smaller account, SPY is probably where your eyes are always at. But if you don't know this, you'll hear about it now. SPY and SPX, they move the same. It's just like more expensive. The prices are different, but the charts are the same. Same movements, same everything. So when I'm looking at charts, I know a lot of people all these level I have, they've been here for the past few days. I didn't just put these here today, yesterday. They've been there for a while. A few days ago, before we had this gap down overnight, I was like, what I do when I chart, I don't go off. If I come back to this day right here, I'm going to be using highlight rectangles and squares so you guys can understand like where I'm pointing to than just my cursor being there. So this white highlight, when this day was going on, so many people, as this builds up, Eastern time, this was around 1:30 p.m. So as this was pushing into the end of the day, into power hour, I guarantee, and maybe some of you here, the emotions kick in of, I got to get in before it's too late. It's approaching high of the day. You want to chase it at that point because you want to see a visual representation of, can this keep going? Is there strength? I want to be like guaranteed that I can make money. I want to see a lot of buyers stepping in. When I'm looking at charts like this, say I never played this entry around the bottom right here on this double bottom based off the first entry. We had a wick below. It's a fake out. A lot of people get shaken out from stuff like that. If you want a better representation, you can use this triple bottom with the wicks on the 5-minute right here for the same day. When I miss a move, I don't care about anything above where my initial entry was when I'm focused on just the chart, just the zone. So many people, and myself included, when you see a move happen, it's just like, say at this point where the highlight is, okay, I want to get in, I'm going to try and enter on a pullback. It never pulls back, it keeps running. And then you're seeing the contract up 50%, up 60% from where you initially could have entered. At some point, if you don't just fade off and tell yourself, this is not going to help, I can't do this, you're going to buy in only because I've missed this much. I don't want to keep missing it. I know people, they made money, runners came down, got stopped out. But the idea is, how much higher can this go when it breaks high of the day? Can it actually fill the gap down from the previous day that had the pull down overnight? Can it fill the gap? Is that going to be your trim level? The idea of trading, I think this was Ange that just said this, yeah. If you chase your risk reward or RR and risk, it's screwed. Every time you follow the play and not let the play come to you, you may not even be thinking about the risk to reward. You're focused on, I got to get in before it's too late. The biggest thing about how I trade and how I teach people, and I'm pretty sure it pisses people off until they understand why I do this. When they tell me, look into this trade, my first response is, what's the risk? And of course, they're just, well, it can probably go 50%. It can probably go 100% if we get in good. Okay, well, like, how much am I risking if this doesn't work? Out of that, say 20% chance that we could lose, what's my risk of this trade? I don't care about the outcome. End of the day, when I'm in a play, I'm green, I can put a stop loss at break even. I can add a stop loss and there's no emotions. Emotions out the picture the minute I have a stop in on my trade that's green. When I'm red, I'm not focused on, man, like I'm down. Like, where am I going to cut? Where is my risk approaching? Was this trade safe? Did I enter at a good spot? My emotions aren't kicking in. I'm just focused on, before even entering, when people talk to me and I'm giving out plays, this is the risk. This is how much you're risking per contract. I could care less about the reward because I'm focused on the chart. How much can the chart push? Will the levels fill on the upside if I'm in calls? Will the resistance pass? Will it reject? Am I going to have to trim at the chart and not just my emotions telling me I got to get out before it's too late? When charting, there's so much more to see on the visual perspective of it than just, I would have been up 50%. And I know a lot of people feel that way. And it's not because, like, I missed the trade. A lot of the time, it's just, I want to get in before it's too late. So many people, it's never the fact of I missed it. It's just, I can still catch it. So I never focus on, I missed this. It's just, I missed my entry, not the idea of the trade, but my entry based off the chart. If the contract is up 100% from where I originally wanted it, I'm not going to chase it due to the fact of me knowing, if I would have been prepared, if I would have executed when I needed to and or wanted to, I wouldn't even be thinking about buying right now because I would have runners or I would still be in the trade, letting the chart work its way out. Someone just said, what if you missed your entry price, it runs and it pulls back to your entry price later? Should you get in and follow your original plan or scrape the trade completely? So for me personally, and every time I speak on stuff, I do it off of my personal experience with trying stuff, with failure, with success. I don't just want to talk off things that don't make sense or that I'm trying to feel like you guys understand. So I try and speak on a personal level just so it's more like me speaking from an emotional standpoint, not just I'm teaching you guys. When I trade, I'm always focused on, okay, I wanted it, like I told you guys, I think it was Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, I want to see us fill the gap down to 43.55 on SPX. I said multiple times 43.60 is going to be like that fake break on the downside just to push back up. I was not going to be falling for that. So I didn't enter it open because for me and my personal trading style, I don't play open. My historical hit rate, I'm emotional. I don't win as much as I lose. So I've just learned I can't trade open. I accept that. So many people, it's like, well, I don't want to miss the move. I got to get in. You have another 5 to 6 hours of market, 6 to 7 hours of market. Why do you want to catch the first few minutes? If that's how your style is, that's fine. But if you understand from, I can't do this because I know I'm not very successful, it messes with me emotionally, I avoid open. So even though I saw it at my level, I did not buy. I saw it move. I saw it move this whole time. I'm not focused on, I got to get in. I want to see a pullback to my entry. The trade is still valid. If I don't miss the trade, I'm already in, obviously, so I have runners. But if I miss it, I'm waiting for a pullback. If it never pulls back, I never trade. I wait for the trade to come to me. I don't chase the move. I've had multiple days, and I hope other people here feel the same way. When SPX has like that trend day of just straight up from open to close, higher highs, higher lows on the 5 minute to 15, it never shows a bearish standpoint. It's just straight up. I have had days where I've sat here and not touched one SPX contract, one SPY. I never took a trade all day. I would just watch it because my instinct is I want to see it come back to me. I'm not going to follow it. Even if I make money on it, that's not how I trade. I'm more focused on sticking to the plan than just making money by not following what I know is best for myself. And I'm hoping as I keep talking, as other people ask questions and want to know like what I do to limit my risk and everything, hopefully it shows you another side of what you could potentially try to do with your trading. So on this push, going off your question again, I'm still focused on this zone. Yes, I understand we pushed up about, what was it, $25 from the low, from the actual zone of my 43.55. It pushed about 20 points upside before the pullback. When this pullback happens, I'm focused on, can we hold a trend of higher lows? Are we going to consolidate? If we push back up, are we going to reject on a double top and we're going to pull back? I'm working with the trade as it's moving. I'm not trying to catch anything. I'm not trying to force a setup before it happens. I'm waiting to see as this chart moves, as the candlesticks move up and down, will I have a possible entry that could get me in cheaper when I miss my initial? Can I get in some contracts cheaper than they were here if they come down here? If they come down here, everyone knows as time decays on contracts, even if it's higher on the stock share price, the contract could still be cheaper. So I'm not focused on catching the stock. I'm letting it come back to me and show me a better entry point than my initial that I wanted. Trade is still valid. So I missed the 43.55 area, pushes up, we get a rejection. Right away, even before the other side to the right double tops, I know this is going to be a heavy reject. It was basically the pullback we tried to have before close the day before. I know this is going to be a heavy resistance. As we come down, are we going to double bottom? Are we going to form a higher low? As that forms, I'm readjusting my thought process. Okay, 43.55 didn't touch. So based off the chart, not just my emotions of I got to get in calls here before it's too late. Oh, I got to get in puts and chase this before we break low on the day. I'm not chasing. I'm not expecting a move. I'm finding the move. I'm letting it work its way in front of me. So my emotions this entire time are turned off. I'm not chasing. I'm not trying to force any setup before it happens. We push back upside. We get another double top. Well, the double top, another double reject. Comes back down. I'm focused on trends. The main thing that I like to go off of when I'm looking for that, like, is that today's chart? Yes, this is today's chart on the 5 minute of SPX. This gap down was from yesterday's close into today's open. This is SPX today. So when going off of like, I don't want to say like I put in the title of this topic, the little bullet points, personal secrets for turning out emotions, for making emotions stay out. It doesn't convince you to do something you know you shouldn't. the biggest thing I've learned, you don't trade for the money. The money is a byproduct. And a lot of people are like, I'm literally trading because I can make so much money. I don't leave my house. I'm on my phone. I get that. But to make money, you follow a chart. You trade a chart, which is price action. Candlesticks move up and down. You're making money off of like a chain reaction of multiple people thinking the same exact way possibly. So as this chart forms, I'm looking for that quote unquote golden entry point. My special sauce. Everyone is looking at this the same time you are. They're chasing, maybe not selling when they're up 50%, and it pulls back to red. They're getting emotional, they're stressing. You're sitting here just waiting for that setup. There's not much to really do when you wait because you're watching it form, you're readjusting what happens. We pushed up it open. All we had was a single top entry. We pull back. Now we're making a higher low. So now you know right here, boom, higher low. We have a trend forming that's bullish. Let's see what happens when this pushes back up. Notice how I'm not thinking, oh, this is a higher low. We're going to push and break high of the day. I got to get in before it's too late. People probably bought here expecting a break on the top and they got destroyed on calls unless they held to end of the day. So I'm always waiting. I want to see the setup. I don't anticipate the break. When I'm anticipating, we another pullback. We're trying to bounce. We reject. Today, when I played SPX, when I trade, and I'm pretty sure this is another way that I can try and incorporate this because this would have been a losing trade, but it worked out because of the way I sized from the chart setup, still holding value. I had my cut level. What if you enter the trade at the open? It goes to the level as you said that you could give a fake out. What if you put a stop at break even? What if you enter the trade at open? It goes to level as you said. So you're talking about like at open, I enter and then it pushes to a level on the upside. Then you give a fake out. Oh, you mean like it pushes up, but it fakes you out and it pulls back and breaks low on the day. Is that what you mean? Ange? The question makes sense, but I want to make sure I understand it before I just talk like I do. Yeah, let me go ahead and go to voice. Do I have to unmute? No, there we go. Go ahead.
Hey, hello. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So my question was, as you say, we had a gap down and we were trying to close the gap fill, right? We were trying to fill the gap. And you told me you were saying that there could be a pullback potentially to shake out people.
Yeah.
What if you would have entered at the open and put your stop loss at the break even?
So like say you enter, it starts to move upside, and then you put a stop loss at break even. So if
Yeah,
you were
so
wrong,
it's like it could potentially go up, close the gap and even go further, or if just fakes you out, you just are at break even. How
yeah.
about that?
So that's always one of the best things to do, and that's one thing that I personally more than likely will do in a trade, especially when I see a push like this. And if it does reject, if I'm up 20%, 30%, me personally, I'll put a stop loss at break even only because a stop loss means no more emotions in the trade. You're guaranteed a free outcome, if that makes sense. You either make money or you break even.
True.
So the example that you were talking about with like the fake breakout, I was looking at like a lot of people, if you're on, why it's not small, there we go. So instead of me being on a larger frame, you guys can see why from a visual perspective, why I have this highlight here. It was a liquidity grab after this gap up. We tried to break on the downside, but couldn't. And when we finally did break back here, broke above, held the recontest. This resistance flipped to support, and we held the level on the wick and pushed right back up. So I knew anywhere in this area, this is going to be a heavy support when price action is above and it comes back down to it again. So as SPX and or SPY were making their rounds coming back down, we opened up right at this level. But like I was saying earlier, I don't trade open. So many people that are say on the 1 minute or the smaller time frames trying to scalp, they're going to enter this. Maybe they see this bull flag and then they enter. They made their money, but are they selling? If they don't sell and they just they're holding, they want to see it run even higher, this pullback will shake them out. That's how a lot of people like get shaken out of trades. They lose because they may have caught the midway move halfway and they weren't pleased enough with this move. They wanted more. They didn't trim, they didn't sell. Their emotions wanted a bigger return instead of realizing we're approaching yesterday's. We tried to break into the day, but sold off. This area was heavy. And a lot of people won't see that if they're only focused on these candles forming. They're not looking at the chart in front of them. They're letting these green candles get in their emotions, making them think we're going to push higher. We get a pullback, it pushes back up. Oh, this could be the breakout on the actual like previous high of the day, and it just rejects. Many people fall into that pattern instead of realizing, like I was saying earlier, you're trading a chart with candles. Like this is all based off price action. Everything reacts based off levels. So you can't have that idea of this going to keep going. Well, where is it going to go to? What level is it going to touch? And we got a few questions. Hang on, Ange. We got someone else above you real quick. Bro, I wanted all morning for pullback on 6, then bought SPX 4375 calls after lunch for 2.65. And as soon as I bought it, I got so nervous and scared. You said after lunch, I'm sure you're Eastern time, and that was right when the sell-off happened, that massive red candle that happened. I got so nervous and scared that I sold for it. I sold it for even money. What do I have to do to overcome this kind of fear, even though I like the trade? So I don't like mispronouncing people's names, so I don't want to try with everyone. But the question I read for you, do you size light? Do you size heavy for your portfolio size? Like, for example, if you sized in $300 and your account is $1,000, is 30%. For me, that's a lot of sizing. But for you, is that how much you size, or what's your average entry based off account size? If you want to talk, you can. I see you're unmuted.
Hey, brother, how are you? My name is Ramin.
Ramin, how you doing, brother?
Good, good. Yeah, I'm in LA, and I did 10 trades since yesterday,
Okay.
and I did not miss one trade. I made money on every single trade, but I don't hold. I don't know what. When I got it at 265, it went to 230, then went back to 265. I got so nervous, even though I did my analysis. You know what I mean? I waited for all day, even though Rippy was talking about the same option. I didn't touch it in the morning because I'm like you. Every time I touch it in the morning, I lose. My percentage of losing in the morning is higher. So I'm not touching in the morning, doesn't matter where it goes. So I waited for after lunch, and I did my charts, I did my trade analysis and everything. And I don't know what got to me, even though I was up from before, it just made me nervous. And right after I sell it, boom, the trade goes to like 550, 560. It just is killing me. And it's all in my head. And I was talking to myself. It's like I made notes. It's like, what made me nervous? I did all my analysis. Yes, it went back down by 10%, $26. It just, I don't know. I got so nervous, my stomach, this, that. And I said, you know what? I don't want to deal with the stress because, just in case something happened, it just, the side effect of it is going to be even worse because I've been working on my head for the past 3 months more than I'm working on my analysis because I don't take bad trades. I only touch SPX. I see you, whatever you said about the Amazon and all of that. I even asked you a question on Discord. My Discord name is RP. But I focus only on one thing because by learning this, then it gives me an opportunity to play other stuff when I have extra money. But the moves I'm getting, I'm studying it nonstop. I watch 2-3 videos every night from you, from ICT, from I'm in every single of your class. But I don't know. I just can't get over this fear. I don't know. I mean, the size wasn't crazy.
I mean, how
$260.
So you were in percent wise, how much is that for your portfolio? Was that your normal sizing? Was that less than
I
usual?
do one contract, it was like, let's say 8%.
Okay. So when I'm going to be asking you questions, and hopefully if other people that are hearing us talk can ask questions as well that they're curious about, do you sell pretty soon when you're in the green? Like, do you sell for 20%, 25%, or how do you usually go about that?
I get when for some reason when it starts going up, I feel like, oh, I don't want to lose my gain. But I had another contract, I sold it again in the afternoon, 4,400 calls, again with for 15, 20%, and it doubled.
Yeah. So it sounds like when you're in a trade, you're looking at your P&L. You're focused on, I'm up $50. Now I'm back to break even. This is stressing me out.
Exactly.
Do you try and look at levels you chart instead of just looking at your P&L? Because you do
I've
realize,
gotten better.
okay,
I've
because
gotten better
the
because
big,
I'm more focused after the class I had with you. And you said, don't look at the price, look
Mhm.
at the chart. So I'm more focused on the chart. If the premium goes away, it goes away. But at least the chart is telling me where it's going to go.
Yeah, so the biggest thing I can give you to work on, because this is one thing that you can't just teach anyone. I know so many people on social media
No,
say,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. So what helped me, I sized so light to the point for I don't know how long that if the trade went down 60%, 70%, it wouldn't hurt me emotionally. And it definitely wouldn't hurt my account, because if it doesn't hurt me emotionally, it's not going to hurt my account. That's the two things you have to keep in your mind. So when you're playing so light that you're not focused on, oh, I'm down this much, you're not looking at the P&L now. So you're only focused on the chart. You're looking at the levels being filled on the gaps. You're looking at the bigger picture instead of, oh, a red candle just hit. I was just up 10%. Now I'm down 20%. Maybe the upside move was 5 points on SPX and the down draw was 2 points and it put you back to break even. So you're stressing out even though the chart is still holding value,
That's
if
true.
that makes sense.
No, absolutely. That's why I know it's up to me. But since you've been doing this for a long time and you have more experience, that this advice and inputs is gonna at the end of help me. But at the end of the day, I gotta work on my head, which
Yeah.
which has been a very big challenge for me.
Say the biggest thing that I'm gonna give a little, I'm gonna let Anch, does what you want to say come into this kind of conversation? I know you said you wanted to hop on real quick.
So I used to kind of do the same thing as I forgot the guy's name. I'm sorry. What were your name?
Ramin.
Hey, Ramin. I
Yeah.
used to do the same thing. What really helped me was not so I use IBKR and I don't have my PNL open on. So there are slides on IBKR and I have a different slide for just my PNL. So it's options. I mean, option trade or something like that. That's where I could see my PNL. The place where I actually place my trades, I don't see my PNL. What I actually used to do is, or I do right now is basically I watch my premiums for seeing how down am I, or in the sense, let's say I buy a contract for $200. I just want to see that is it hitting or is it going below 180 to just to manage my risk. I don't see my PNL. That's why I just see my premiums and I see the tape. Where is it going? That's all I do. I used to watch the PNL and it used to really frustrate me. Like I used to be up $50 and then I closed my trade for $38. And then I'm like, oh shit, I was up $50. I want to be up $50. And then I start taking more trades just to get it back to $50. So this is what really helped me. I don't know if it's gonna help you. I personally don't watch PNL anymore. I instead use the my premiums of the contract I'm trading. I think that might help. I think.
One question: do you think when I get into a position, shall I put especially for SPX because the moves are crazy, just put stop limit at 20% and just let it go?
I
This
don't
way,
put stop limit unless and until I'm up. That is personally me. So basically, if I usually nowadays I take 2 or 3 or 5 contracts, and whenever I'm up, first thing I'll do is I'll close 1 or 2 contracts on purpose, just because I don't want to be red. And secondly, the other 3 contracts can work for me. And when I'm in green, then I start placing my what do you live I mean basically stop. I keep increasing my stop. That's how I do it, if that answers your question.
no, I know, but sometimes it just at least when you put let's say for 260, you put 20%, that's $50. You put it at $2.10 stop limits, then because one candle could take you to $1.50. At least with the stop limit, you feel a little
I
bit more
actually don't put a
comfortable.
stop limit just right after I place an order.
I
I
see.
wait, I see what the chart is doing. And
Mm.
if I understand, yeah, it's not going my way, I just cut it right at that point of time because I can re-enter again. But I just
Yeah.
don't. This is me. I'm not a profitable trader, but this is what helped me.
No,
I
this is just we're all brainstorming to see.
Conversation's what matters. The conversation is what matters.
Yeah,
pers-
we're
personally, I
brainstorming.
don't, and I whenever I place a trade, I don't put stop limit the other second I place a trade. I wait. I want to let it breathe for a little bit. If I understand looking at the chart, no, it's not going to go my way, I cut it. But if it is going my way, I start putting stops, or I take 2 or 3 contracts out and let the other ride up, and I keep trailing my stops. But I don't look at my PNL. I only look at my premiums on my contract. Is it moving? Is it not moving? That's what I do. Because sometimes the chart's moving, sometimes the option premiums are not moving. It might even take a hit for no reason.
This emotion is the main challenge for me. It just, but it's
Personally,
something that
I don't know. Like yesterday, I was talking to yesterday we were having a discussion, and yeah, he suggested me that I should actually increase a bit of my position size from $500 to like $1,000 because it won't really hurt my portfolio. And I think I was in the gym, Rippy signal, I think a spy call, and I got into it with $1,000. I knew my limit was max 10%, that's $100. But it really, I lost $80, something like that. But it really did not affect me. I don't know why. But
I see.
it's just, I don't know. I just know fit mentally that I know my risk is managed. This is personally me. So I don't know why, but I just know that my risk is managed. That's why I don't even trade SPX. I only trade SPY right now.
Ramin, I got some.
Yes, sir.
I want something you want to. My bad. I have something I want you to try. Maybe not this week. I want you to finish out the week the way you trade, how you do. But starting next week, and maybe even if you want to start in July to start tracking this on your own, I want, like, since SPY and SPX move the exact same, I understand the returns are not going to be as big, but also the risk will be a lot smaller on SPY. I want you to try and trade SPY the same way you do SPX, only because it's cheaper. You can hold one contract for what you usually risk on a normal position for SPX. So that way you can play off the chart formation. If you can hit, and this is one thing I did, and I saw Coco was in here for a second, but I think he left. This is something I'm currently teaching him with what me and him are working on. I'm having him buy in with one contract where if it goes to zero, like if it goes all the way to zero, it's the same amount he would lose if he sized normal with the stop loss at 20% or 30%. That way, he's not going to even look at the P&L one time because he already knows, okay, my risk is the whole position, which is usually my normal sizing on a 20% loss. So right away, his emotions out of the picture. Even if I sell down 90%, I still am keeping money I should have lost. He understands that now. So he's only playing what he sees in front of him based off the chart structure. As he's getting familiar with that, as he's understanding, okay, after this week, I'm going back looking at my trades. I was 8 for 10 on the week. The 5 out of the 8 wins, I made over 100% returns because I waited for the gap fill. I waited for levels to touch before I sold. I was letting the chart tell me when to get out. If it was hesitating and my emotions started kicking in, even though I'm expecting to lose this position, I'm sized so light. If your emotions kick in when you're in a light position, there's something that has to go into work that could be around money, or it could just be around the fact of I don't want to lose. So the best way to overcome that, from what I've done, size so light that no matter what happens on the downside, you're not going to be upset. And as you have success with SPY or just any contract on another stock, you can switch back to SPX, because the best thing about SPY and then moving to SPX, they move the exact same.
Exactly.
Yes, the contracts may fluctuate with SPX heavier, but if you learn to hold a contract chart on SPY for the move, SPX is going to be the exact same way. It may lose value, but you'll readjust as you switch back over. If you're 8 for 10 on SPY and you're only going off the chart, you're not watching the P&L, you're not seeing a heavy red candle and telling yourself, I got to get out. You're already expecting to lose it all. So you're letting the chart form when you have confirmation to sell. And I'm trying to slowly flood back into the chart example, and I want to hear your response when I finish this. When I was trading SPX today, I still do this strategy when I enter in the middle of price action on the day. So as you can see with SPX, this purple highlight, top and bottom on the day. This was like the consolidation zone of the day until we broke out into power hour, basically. So I knew right away, okay, this trend is forming. We're getting higher lows going. My best chance of entering calls was my third entry off this higher low trend. I mean, higher low trend right here. And I'll make this highlight yellow. I entered one contract right here, only because if it wasn't right, I'm losing what I usually lose for a normal size if I trim at 30% loss. So this pushed up, I'm green. I didn't care though. I wanted to see this double top break on the upside. I wanted to see higher highs form, possibly contest previous day high. As this rejected, I'm not focused on selling yet because based off the chart, you have to use the next support to make you sell. You're not selling because you're down. You're selling when the chart shows you a flip from bullish to bearish. Maybe the trend you entered was bearish, so now you're waiting for it to flip to bullish to get out. You're going off the chart reaction, and that's when you react. So when this pulled back, my cut level was a break of 43.58 around here. This was my trim, aka I'm gonna get the hell out because I can't risk to hold this any longer. Why is it not changing? Hang on. There we go. So this red horizontal line, this was my cut, not because I was down 50%, not because I was down 80%. If we broke the previous higher low on the trend, this is now a bearish flip on the day, only because our next level, low on the day. I don't want to hold a call to low on the day. It's too emotional. So as trends break, I'm selling. Since the trends never broke, guess what? I held this contract. I held this contract. I held this contract. Boom. 43.78 hit. I had one contract. I can't trim, so I have to sell the whole position. This is exactly what I do when I'm showing people how to build that confidence. When Coco entered this, if you guys don't know who Coco is in the chat, this man used to be so emotional. He didn't know how to hold, how to sell properly in the red. Oh, geez. Do you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my screen froze, so I'm just going to keep talking. I don't know what's going on. If you can't hear me in a while, just at me in the Discord so I can see on my phone. But
No, we can hear you.
it's on. Oh, jeez. You still can't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. For some reason, my screen's
Yeah.
frozen, but I can still talk.
Your screen is frozen, but I can hear you clearly.
Okay. If something happens, just add me in the Discord so I know, but I'm going to keep going. So
Sure.
when I'm focused on the chart now, I only held because my support below my did not break. So I'm not worried. I'm not selling out of fear. My strength in the bullish trend is still holding. So in the process of this happening, I'm holding because my first level I want to see touch is that 43.78. That is the level that I will get out if the worst possibility happens. Because once we hit here, I'm expecting a reject. I'm expecting a turnaround because that's a historical level, whether price is below or above, it's going to have an effect when it touches. Since price action is below, approaching that level, it's going to act as resistance. Once we break above that level, it flips to support. So I want to see a pullback to hold support to see if it can keep that uptrend going. This is the only reason why I did not sell was this level right here. This was literally the only reason. So knowing that, if I would have sized in heavier than what I'm used to, even more than my normal sizing position, this drop off could have gotten me so scared to the point of I can't hold this any longer. So when you focus on like coming back to you, Ramin, playing SPY with one contract, it's going to be way cheaper than SPX. And you may even be able to play right at the money, where once you're in the money with that contract, theta's not going to hurt you as bad. So as you learn to hold based off levels, you're not going to be focused on the P&L. And as you see the success with this, you can readjust every week. Okay, last week I was 7 for 10. Let's see if I can improve next week by stuff I saw I messed up on, and I'm going to readjust what I've been doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And I can't, why is nothing loading? It's weird you guys can still hear me, but I can't. It shows I froze. Okay.
Yeah, your pictures, it's frozen.
Here, I'm gonna try and leave and come back if you guys are fine with that. For some reason, I can't.
Sure.
Hang on, let me.
Hey, Raman,
Yes,
what kind of which broker do you use?
I do Tinker Swim.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I do Tinker Swim. I just got to get over this fear. I could have been up 10 grand past couple of days.
Okay.
I just, for some reason, I lost $30,000 and, because I wasn't knowledgeable, I wasn't educated enough. And it just freaked me out. It freaks
Try
me out.
watching the premiums instead of, I mean, I don't I use TOS just for charting. I live abroad, so we can't have TOS to execute, but try just looking. I know how TOS is and you see your PNL, but try just looking at your option contracts premiums rather than your PNL.
That's
Are
what
you
I
good
got to
at
do. Yeah,
calculus?
it's just
Are you very
crazy.
good at calculus?
I'm sorry?
Are you very good at calculus?
No, no.
Okay, so do one thing.
Hmm.
Depending upon your stop, let's say you want to risk $20, 200 from $200, basically 10% of your option contract, basically. So basically, you just how you could just lose. I mean, basically, you have a stop at 180. Just keep looking at 180. If it's hitting and the chart shows you a signal, no, it's not gonna go your way. Cut it out. This is what I do personally. But I don't look at my PNL. I used to get really frustrated because I used to be up 50, 60, 100, $200. And then while you get out, it's like from 120 to $80. And the $40 used to irritate me. So I just look at my premiums rather than my, what do you say, my PNL. I'm good at calculus, but the only thing I watch is, am I down? Am I risking 5%, 10%? If I'm down and if the chart says, yeah, it's not going to go, the tape says it's not going to go, I just get the hell out because I can re-enter again. It's not worth losing 30, 40%. I can risk, I can risk 20, 30% some other trade, which could be much more profitable, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Whatever you say makes sense. I gotta
This works for
figure
me.
out.
I don't know for what works for other people. Rippy watches his PNL. I don't, and it's just. I mean, he's very rich, so I think at some point you really don't care about 2-3 grand. For me, making $200 and just losing $40 you really used to irritate me a lot. So I just look at my premiums, and then after that, when I'm done with my trade, I go to my PNL and I see how much am I up, how much am I down. If I'm down, I already know how much am I gonna be down. But more than that, I just don't look at my what do you say, even option contracts, just option contract in the sense the premium. So basically in IBK, you could just look at the premium. You just swipe it from your option contract list to your watch list, and I just see the premiums. That's all I do. That has really helped me. You could give it a try. I don't think so you can do that in TUS. You might have to switch to IBKR. I don't know, is it worth it for you? But that really helped me a lot.
Is Interactive Broker is a good place to be? I don't know. I've never
Oh,
tried.
it's I think the fills are a lot better than TUS.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
I might then switch the
It
account.
looks
and-
very old. It really looks very old. That's why I use TOS as for charting and what do you say, for IBCare just for execution. And also Rippy has a video on I think how to set up your IBCare. It looks really old, but you'll start being fine with it after looking at it for 2, 3, 5 days.
I never used Thinkorswim, the chart either. That's so difficult. I'm in Trading View and it's fantastic. I think it's the fear of losing. You feel like people watching.
If I may ask, how big is your portfolio?
Well, now I got only like $3,000.
Okay, you have $3,000. Try risking just 30 to 60 to $100 from that. Just that's all, and see how you go with it.
Yeah,
But
I
first,
blew out
as you said, you need to educate
$30,000.
yourself. Sorry.
I blew out $30,000, but it is what it is. There's nothing we could do. So
Well, if you keep being at it, I'm sure it's gonna pay off very well.
but I've been studying like crazy. That's for sure.
Yo, sorry to interrupt, guys. Is Breezy said he's having trouble signing back, or
I have no
Well,
idea.
he said, yeah, he's we could hear him, but he could not do the chart, and we couldn't see his face. So his picture was kind of frozen. So he said he's gonna log out and log back in. So
okay, for sure, just making sure.
yeah. But it just this is, if you could have get it the first tryout, everybody would have done it. You know what I mean? I listened to Rippy. I just love the fact that the way he trades, it's amazing. I've been in a lot of discords and I've listened to a lot of people, and they get lucky, but he does make sense and he's right on the money. And I told him that.
He does have like 7 or 8 years of experience.
Exactly.
Someone who has not really,
experience.
not really traded, it's really hard to execute at the right moment. Like today, if you would have taken his Tesla, he was on dot. Like most of us, when we read charts, it's basically everything's already done for us. Like the whole chart is already done. But the time when the chart is forming, that is the hard part, I believe. And also, yeah, it speaks is really crazy. It moves. Like I think, yeah, today Rippy did signal something from SPX or SPY, and he was up 10, I think 10, 20, 30% or something like that. And
he bought the 43.75 calls. I was listening to him. He's fantastic with SPX. I've never heard or seen anybody. I'm sure there are a lot of other people that I don't know, but I've been in a few Discord and membership and I canceled them. They're all bullshit, but this guy is just right on the money, and he makes sense. He's just not lucky guess. You know what I mean? You can't do lucky guess on a daily basis, but he's fantastic on SPX, and I listen to him. And I got to tell you, even since I've been listening to him, it has given me some sort of a confidence that, because I see he says things and I see the same thing. I don't act on it, but I see what he's saying. So that helps me a lot, that, I'm on the right track, because most of the time is you don't trust yourself when you get scared. I'm sorry.
Someone
say it again.
So I'm saying if you don't have any experience trading SPX, and if your normal position sizing is like 300, 400 or $1,000, just cut it into half.
No, I've been doing SPX for almost 4 or 5 months. I used to do a lot of option trading back in 2000. I'm 57 years old, and I used to make a lot of money. So I
Oh,
made,
sorry, sir. I get it.
yeah. No, I'm not a kid, but
No,
I
no,
used to.
I'm so sorry. I thought you're my age. I'm so really sorry.
No.
My apologies.
I was back in late 90s, early 2000. I was number 2 option trader in the country with Charles Schwab. I paid them like 70, 80 grand a year. Back in the days, the option trading was like $1,000, $600. It wasn't like you pay $20, $30. But
Gee,
and I had no fear of losing then with no education. Now, when you're educated, you have a little bit more fear. It's weird, but that's how it works because now you know what could happen. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And of course, I was a little bit younger, so
you could take
when
more
you're
risk.
younger, you're a little bit more fearless. But
Sure.
Rippy is fantastic. I'm telling you, I have a lot of experience. His calls are incredible, dude. It's right on the money. It's not easy. And I the reason I found out about him, it was I was in a few Discord and they were talking about it. And they said they love to live trade with him. It's like, who is this guy? And then, I followed him on the Twitter and this and that. That's how I get everything started. But it's just progress. You know what I mean? You just gotta, what you
We-
call it.
Quick, quick question.
Mm.
Put in the chat. How long has everybody been trading? I'm just curious. We could
I
have it
mean,
in the chat.
I have been trading, if forget about 1996 all the way to 2002, and then I stopped, and I've been trading since 2017 on and off. But the past 7-8 months, I've been trading actively.
Hmm.
So yeah.
For me, I've been learning for 2 years. I started executing 2 months ago, 2 months ago. Did not have the funds. Now I do. That is why.
So it takes a little bit of a time, but it is what it is. He said, message him on Discord. See, Ansh, you think you can message him on Discord? See, is he coming back or is he have a problem?
He's actually typing right now. He's like, I'm
Oh,
restarting
okay.
the computer. Everything is working out, but Zoom, literally only Zoom messing up. Here you guys, when I rejoin, but my screen freezes. I'm staying late to make the time up with you guys for the to talk through. Appreciate you guys a lot. Okay,
It's okay. It happens.
yeah, it happens.
But other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. But let's see. He's gonna try to join again. We'll wait. I'll say give it like 15 more minutes or 10 more minutes and see if he can join
Yeah.
back. But if not, then
He's
it's all good. We
saying
can make
he's
it up on
gonna
another.
join again right now. Let's see.
Fingers crossed. 22 people in the Discord. Is he in? Yes, he is. Wait, it says like a name to him. Oh, we got him back. Let's see.
Mm,
I saw the other day, you work in Saudi Arabia, Ansh?
yeah, I do. I just graduated from the Netherlands, and my parents live here, so I've just come to Saudi Arabia.
Nice. Nice. I used to do business in Dubai.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
It's very
back in the
close
day.
to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, there's a lot of people used to come over there and party. They left the party over there.
Dubai is good for as a trader to avoid taxes. Great place.
I personally would
if-
never go Dubai. I would rather go Monaco or some other place,
That
Madeira
too.
or something, but not Dubai. I've been here for 18 years. Oh, the heat kills you.
Oh,
I'm
you've
not
been
joking.
in.
Trust me. I was there in the Netherlands for 4 years, almost. Yeah, and it used to be very. There's no sun there usually, and it rains 12 months. It's amazing for me. I hate the heat, and I hate the sun at this point. So I used to love Netherlands, where people used to be depressed. I used to be happy. and it's cold. It's not really that cold as well, like Canada or something. It max it goes is like -5. That's bearable. But I'd rather live in a cold country than a hot country.
But you live in the hottest country.
I do. That's why I hate it.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I
the
used to live
worst
in-
place. I don't think it's the worst place in the
It's not, I
world.
mean, here's the thing. The food is 1,000 times way better than all of Europe. All my European friends who live in Saudi would even say the same thing. The food is good, but it's, yeah, I mean, depends upon person to person. I've been here for 18 years, almost all my life. I'm kind of done with it.
I used to live in Denmark, so back in the
Ooh.
days, I got a lot of years ahead of you guys. So
True.
sheesh. That's really cool. That's really cool.
are you the Mr. Trader?
Yeah, that's just my that's just my
Yeah.
Gmail account. It just popped up as Zoom, so I just never changed it.
I know. I mean, I didn't even know how to change my name. It just left it like that. So you want to log in with your name? I said, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Breezy says he might bring us into Discord VC instead because his Zoom is not working.
Yeah, I
Okay.
came. Yeah, that's fine too. If he makes one. But yeah, how did you guys find? When did you guys, or how long ago did you guys find Hassan and his you know, this trading thing and everything?
I just
When-
joined last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I
joined
know
last week.
Hassan since I think two years, but trading wise, I was more into investing when I was 18. And yeah, I started learning about trading, fell in love with it, to be honest.
Hey, I
Uh,
remember that. Oh, someone said in the chat CCX. I remember the TCX days. It was like a group chat that I was never a part of, but I knew it existed. But then
What
it doesn't
happened to TCX? I hear a lot. I have no idea what is it.
it was basically like a Discord service by this guy named Kevin Trades and some other the Mihir and who else was it? Brett Simba, like all these traders, and then they used to like it was just a signal service and I guess I don't know education. But I heard it was like that's where Hassan and the other ones like they all used to trade back then and then everyone went their own separate ways. And it was back in like 2020 and 2021. I'm not sure, but
Also, Hassan was with Brett Simba, and then
yeah, he knows him. I think he knows him. Yeah, they've probably they may have met. I'm not sure, but yeah, but he's definitely what's it called? I think he's met. There's the trading in the trading space, like the community, like most of them know each other. Most of them know each other. Like they don't really talk to each other, but they know each other.
yeah, I mean, I've watched that Kevin guy, and then Brett, but Hassan is I've seen their trades and I've seen Hassan Rippy's trade. I like Rippy better. It just depends,
Yeah.
There is so
Rippy-
many teachers out there, but you got to see which one sits in your head. Whatever they say, sits in your head.
Anyway, sorry to distract you, but he made a VC, so let's join that, and I'll see
Will
everybody
we-
in there on Discord.
Oh, okay, we got to go to Discord.
Yep,
Yep.
should be
All
there.
right.
It says class VC under educational resources.
All right,
So,
let me go back.
all right.
All right, bye.